Hello, and welcome here to the 18th round of the Craftsman Cup Series. We're going to be racing under the lights here at Homestead for tomorrow night's race. But we're going into qualifying as per usual, another 15-minute session for the 41 lads and the one lassie out, or going to attempt to get themselves onto the pole position. And the first car out is the free machine, that of Brandon Ross, and followed by Nick Gunther, sporting the Black Thunder Lightning livery number 55. So out then comes Brandon Ross. Here he comes. Been a tough season there for Brandon. He comes into this in the championship in 36th place, completely the opposite of his teammate Sam Oskin, who is sitting in 13th place in the standings. I think it's safe to say Brandon isn't going to win the championship, but he wants to have a strong last three races as he can. And he's going to have a little bit of traffic here, potentially. Jeremy Tackles just slightly moves out of the way of Brandon Ross's line. And what is the time then that's going to be set from Brandon Ross? And he will cross in the line at 27.799 for Brandon. But of course that time will probably improve, as well as some of the other times. Out goes Dylan Young and Noah Cars, followed by Nathan Hudson. There is Dylan. Oh, I'm going forward. Sorry, my apologies there. James Qualls, top 5 finished last week. He's just heading out onto the track, as well as Stephen Colon and Chris Summers. And there's your championship leader, Danny Wells. It's the second time Danny is coming into a race leading. I think the last time we've seen Danny was leading was going into Atlanta, was involved in a nasty accident which caused him out of the race. And luckily, well, I don't think luckily enough then for Danny, next week's race, the penultimate round of the championship, is at Atlanta. So he'll want to have a good race here and maybe have his championship lead extension. But also Danny also comes into this race not as only as the points leader, but he is also a driver that hasn't won a race yet. It's just consistency. It's actually got him up there. The race at Texas last week, it looked a bit bad for Danny because he was down as low as 25th, 26th or something like that, but worked his way up into the 6th position as he tries to thread the eye of the needle between two red Fords of Brand Tedesco. Oh, and Levi McIntyre just scraped the wall. And Michael Norman, who's currently sitting last, unfortunately, in the championship. Start of the season, he was up there battling for like a strong finish, but pit stops have really ruined him, and he fell back down to 30th positions or something like that. But he's never really continued on from that moment. It's just been a lot of bad luck along the way. Good bit of racing further forward here with Dylan Young and Tackles and Noah Cars and Noah Hart and Matt McIntyre. Matt McIntyre is okay. His legs are a little bit beat up after that horror accident last week to Trek Torga. And Trek Torga is clear to race, so too is Seth Cole. And there is Joshua Collard. He's putting in into the pits. And there is James Qualls, followed by Carson Gum, who's third in the championship. And Zachary Fitzwater, who's just jumped out of the top 10 after his retirement. In fact, he's actually going into the pits right now. And there he goes. Into the pits he goes. And there we see Matt McLean. And he is also medically cleared to race after his big accident, which involved the 66, which we will see what about he is. There is Jessica Shelton. There is Dylan Poteet, who was the former points leader. He goes down to second in the points, I believe. Still no sign of him just yet. There is Nico Ketchum, followed by Seth Cole. Now Seth Cole, there he is. Still feeling that he was staying in the pit lane garage there from Texas. As now he is trying to pass Christian Martin, who is now falling down to 5th in the standings. He's starting to lose the championship away from that got him, that he was pretty much dominating in near the most part of the championship, but he's went down to second, he's down to third, he's down to fourth, but he now comes into this race fifth in the championship. Diego Spina in 97, there he is, just passing Cody Lammers. He also had a bad race at Texas, but he's into this 10th in the driver's standings. As people go 3 wide, potentially, no, Seth Cole's going to tour his Coors Light car into the pits as Cody Lammers nearly scrapes the wall. There's a look again at Joshua Collard, still in there, Jesse Turner. Nearly got a top 10 from Texas. And there's Sam Oskin. Levi McIntyre then heads out. There we can see Noah Kazi's just coming out there too. There's the winner from last week, Daniel Voiles, just passing Nathan Ormond around the outside. And there is Trek Torga. Few drivers are coming in this race beaten and banged up here. Trek Torga, Seth Cole, Matt McIntyre. A lot of drivers are. Cody Lammers as well, because he took a vicious hit from Noah Cars as well. He's also got a bit of bruising into his lower extremities, but they are all okay and allowed to race. And the winner from last week, like I said, Daniel Voiles there. Where's he currently sitting at the moment? 9th place then for the M&M's driver. So confidence is starting to turn for this 36 team. Just a shame it's just too little too late though for Daniel and the team. Chris Summers, another guy that's also slightly moving up in the points, where he's currently at the moment 17th for the Eel River Racing driver. And let's see what Trek Torga's doing right now. Let's see what is he. Where's he sitting? 15th place. Great effort there from Trek, who is coming into this, like I said, beaten and banged up here. Charles Sanfer, he's driving the orange machine for this race, the black and yellow car. Really nice paint scheme that is. Sam Oskin goes out. Daniel Fitzwater, Zachary Fitzwater is out. There's a look then at Wes McCall. Nick Gunther puts his car into the pits. There he is. So too there's Stephen Colon. And Wes McCall's qualifying looks like it's improved. He's second fastest with the Conseco Pontiac. By far will be his best qualifying of the season for the 14 team, if he can hold it there. Or if not, go a little bit faster. But unfortunately, he can't do that at the moment. There's Roy Hayden. He sits in 16th place. And RJ Bishop runs 21st place. Now, where is the points leader? There he is. And he's sitting in 3rd place. So qualifying has actually really been getting good for Danny Wells. He's been, I think that's, if he stays at this rate, I think that's like, what, 3 consecutive top 10 starts for Danny? Maybe 4. So going all right then. How long have we got left? We just passed halfway through this qualifying session. So we don't know who's on pole. Brant Tedesco in 5th. And Michael Norman in 39th. Nick Gunther's in. Cole Diva is in. So too's Dylan Young and Chris Summers. And out goes Stefan Papiez in the Tide Ford. He goes out. Nathan Hudson, followed by Andy McCurdy, who was on the pole last week. Sits with a number 1, but it has a 20, a 2 before the 1. Noah Hart. Ooh, who's that scraping the wall? Who was that? Could have been Trent Dunham, maybe. Trent there side by side with Stephen Cole on. Yep, you did hit the little scrape on the wall. Kyle Matthews, 2nd place a week ago. And it was good to see that iconic livery there, the Rainbow Warriors Chevrolet back up at the front where it should be, I should say. Closely followed behind by another iconic livery, the 3 of Brandon Ross, who was the first car out in qualifying. Behind him is the Virginia Tech Ford of Jamie Smith, and Jamie sits 37th in that car. Jeremy Taco sitting in 12th. As still Trent Dunn trying to find a way by. Trent also feeling a little bit beaten and banged up from his massive accident with Seth Cole and a few others. But where is Seth at the moment? Oh, sorry, Trent is currently running last at the moment, so not good then for the Pennzoil driver team. There is Cole Diva. He sits in P30. Ahead of him is Carson Gum, like I said, 3rd in the points, but he's currently 41st at the moment. James Qualls, and he sits in 40th position. Matt McLean, followed by Richard Johnson, and the 8. Well, Levi is at the moment in 20th position as Dylan Young nearly goes into the path of Joshua Collard. And Zachary Fitzwater's back into the pit lane, as well as Daniel Voles. And I think Noah Hart also just toured his way into the pits of putting on some new tyres. There's a look at Dylan Pulte. Currently sitting 6th place for the guy that comes into this, second in the points. And he's got Nico Ketchum and Jessica Shelton just ahead of him. And Nick Gunther, there he is. I love that livery. It looks such a gorgeous looking livery for Nick. Trying to get a good draft then on Christian Martin in the 12. And that is a good line. No improvement though whatsoever. Still 36th place though for Nick. He's got his team at 1 car ahead. There he is, Cody Lammers. And he is in 30th place, Cody is. And for the that team there, Cody Lammers winning at Talladega. Nick Gunther just missing out by 1,000th of a second at Daytona. That was the start of the second half of the season, when the closest finish, if not the closest finish in CCS history, if not ever, in NR 2003. Diego Spina just tagging along these cars here, going at 202 miles an hour as they all make their way into 3 and 4. And there is Stefan Papiez, and there's a bit of racing going on there between Seth Cole, Charles Sanfer and Jesse Turner. Seth Cole comes into this now 41st in the driver's standings. That is absolutely ridiculous considering what Seth is. Seth is one of the veteran drivers in NR 2003, a former champion too in the CCS, and he's having a really tough time driving a Chevrolet. He did win the championship, I believe, in the Hot Wheels Pontiac car, but the move from Pontiac to Chevrolet has not worked. So far though, Seth is running in the middle of the field in 28th place as we've got 3 minutes to go until the end of the qualifying session. And now Jesse Turner goes to the inside and passes Seth easy peasy. Jesse, meanwhile, sits in 8th place, and Sanfer, car 10, is in position number 10. Matt McIntyre, where is he at the moment? Oh, he has actually set the fastest time. So there you have it. Matt McIntyre currently on pole position, 27.227. And he's already had a pole position to his name. He might get a second pole position of the season if he can keep it up. But you've got the whole cavalry that's right behind him, which is led by Sanfer. Then you've got Turner, Cole, Summers is caught up, Nathan Ormond, Trick Torgan, Noah Cars, and Stefan Papiez. And look at this gang of cars here. They're all battling. Look at that. Sam Oskin, Levi McIntyre. You can just see how wide this racetrack is. Cars can go 4 wide. They can make go 5 wide along here. Yeah, but you got Matt McLean, Dylan Young, Joshua McCullard, Richard Johnston, and the 88 of James Qualls all battling. And Matt McLean, we're looking at him. 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. Currently 23rd. For the Budweiser Chevrolet for the DEI team. Rather expensive day for that team last week at Texas when both drivers... Oh, there's that thing again. When both drivers then got involved in those nasty, nasty accidents. So it was a busy week for the team to repair both of their cars repaired. Look like they've done a great job in doing so. As Dylan Young just passing the 8. Who's that coming out on track then? Oh, it's Nick Gunther nearly coming out in front of his teammate. Could have hampered the run on him. There's a look then at Noah Hart, Brandon Disco, and RJ Bishop still battling with Daniel Voiles. And there's Danny Wells with the 7 of Michael Norman and Nathan Hudson, who's I believe 6th place in the drivers in the points. And he's starting 29th on in the grid at the minute as we're coming down into 30 seconds. And now we've got ourselves a bit of a gaggle of cars here. Dunham, Colon, Smith, Matthews, Tackles, Ross and McCrory. And we'll keep an eye out on them where they will be starting in tomorrow night's race. Again, another 67 laps around this 1.5 mile track. And I think you can bet your bottom dollar there's going to be a lot of great racing now. As they're 4 wide now. Oh, Stephen Colon just brushing the wall, but we are 4 abreast. And as you can see, this track is plenty wide enough to go 4 wide. Oh, Stephen just hits the wall quite hard, so that's going to damage his right side of his Melling Racing Ford, as there is now 0 seconds on the clock. These drivers have done their last lap, and we're looking at Jamie Smith. Fortunately for him, sitting in a 39th place for the Wood Brothers Racing, sponsored by Virginia Tech this time. And we'll just pause it there. So that is the end of qualifying, and it is an all Pontiac front row with Matt McIntyre and Wes McCall. Second pole of the season as well for the 93 bunch. Danny Wells, a championship leader, will start in 3rd place, and it's Noah Hart. So Pontiac's doing very well. Actually 4 Pontiacs in the top 6, because on the 3rd row you got Brandon Disco, and the man that is 2nd in the points, Dylan Poteet. And you've got Jessica Shelton and Jesse Turner. That is a Ford Chevrolet affair on row 4. And then you've got Daniel Voiles and Charles Sanford. So Pontiacs then, we've got 6 Pontiacs in the top 10. Good going though for that manufacturer. Then it's an all Fords on the 6th row with Stefan Papies and Stephen Colon. Jeremy Tarkos 13th. Nathan Orman 14th. Dylan Young and Andy McCrory will make up row 8. 17th and 18th will combine of 2 Chevrolet drivers of Sama Oskin, Zachary Fitzwater. Trek Torga beaten up. And he will start 19th alongside Ry Hayden, who is in the top 10 in the championship. Then you've got a tie on row 11 between Chris Summers and Seth Cole. Levi McIntyre and Matt McLean will make up row 12. Kyle Matthews and his teammate RJ Bishop will be on row 13. James Qualls and Noah Cars will be on row 14. 29th is Nathan Hudson and Christian Martin. 2 drivers then 5th and 6th, I believe, in the championship. They're going to be starting together. Cody Lammers and Nico Ketchum, 31st, 32nd. Michael Norman, 33rd. Cole Diva, 34th. Diego Espina, who's 10th. He will start 35th. Brandon Ross, 36th. Nick Gunther, Richard Johnson on row 19. Row 20 will be Jamie Smith and Joshua Collard. And Trent Dunham back down in 41st and alongside the man that is 3rd in the championship, Carson Gum. Well, that is it then, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching the qualifying. Again, congratulations yet again to the 93 of Matt McIntyre, claiming his 2nd pole position. What's going to happen then in tomorrow's race? Another 67 laps around Homestead. And yeah, be sure to watch that for tomorrow. And I bet there'll be some more pretty much risky driving there, considering, you know, we are winding down the races to have a champion in the CCS. So don't forget, give this race give this qualifying, a like, and Discord group will be in the link will be down below if it actually works, that is. So yeah, until then, we'll see you tomorrow for the actual race.